What page is it on?
No, I'm not going to tell you that. Luke, it's on page Luke, chapter 17, verse 11.
Got it.
You got it?
Luke 1.
Luke, chapter 17, verse 11.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Good. Good job, Adriel.
You didn't say anything.
Go find it. Look it up. Look. Luke, don't get mad. You find it? Where are you at? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. These are the first four books of the New Testament. Matthew, Mark, Luke. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Luke 17, verse 11. Luke 17. So the big number is chapter 17, and the little numbers under the big numbers are verses. Luke chapter 17, verse 11. Look for the little tiny number. Joey, will you walk around and check them, please?
Did you find it?
Luke
babe? Found it?
chapter 17, verse 11. Chapter 17, verse 11. So you should be on page 1428. Okay. Please read along. As Jesus made his way to Jerusalem, he went along the border between Samaria and Galilee. He was going into a village when he was met by 10 men suffering from a dreaded skin disease. The disease is called leprosy, okay? I tell you, sometimes this translation is trying to help you understand it, but sometimes it loses what it's supposed to be doing. So, they were suffering from a dreaded skin disease called leprosy. They stood at a distance and shouted, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." Jesus saw them and said to them, "Go and let the priest examine you." On the way, they were made clean. They were healed. When one of them saw that he was healed, he came back praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself to the ground at Jesus' feet and thanked him. The man was a Samaritan. Jesus spoke up. "There were 10 who were healed. Where are the other 9? Why is this foreigner the only one who came back to give thanks to God?" And Jesus said to him, "Get up and go. Your faith has made you well." So first of all, I want you to understand how serious that skin disease was, okay? Leprosy. It's a terrible skin disease. But not only was it terrible during the time of Jesus, they didn't know how to treat it. So pretty much if you got it, you had it for life. And then not only that, it was very contagious. Okay? And they didn't understand this disease, it was contagious. And so because of that, guess what? If you had this disease, you notice how they had to talk to Jesus at a distance. Okay? When you had this disease, you were not allowed to get close to anybody. Other people were not allowed to get close to you. Otherwise, you were declared unclean. And then, not only that, then they usually kicked you out because your own family didn't want you around. Think about what happened a couple of years ago with COVID, right? When we first started, COVID was super scary. And when you got it, you were like, if you had it in your family, they told you to lock you up in your bedroom and not get close to you. No one was supposed to be around you. And then if they were around you, guess what? you had to be quarantined, okay? Except these people would be quarantined for life. Deacon.
What is a disease? Like, what does it do?
It disfigures you. It disfigures you. And it starts, I don't know exactly what it is, but like one of our saints, Saint Damien of Molokai, what they used to do in America was that if you had the disease, they shipped you to Hawaii. Now, you're thinking, oh yeah, tropical vacation. No, remember Hawaii has a lot of islands. They dedicated one of those islands of Molokai just for lepers, so that they would put all these people, leprous people, on a boat and sail them to that island and dump them off. That was the way they got rid of them. And like, goodbye, fend for yourself. Yeah, it was terrible. And so Saint Damien was a priest.
What if they left
The island? No, there was no way. This island, you're surrounded by water. There's no way to get off without dying. And they don't leave you with a boat. That was terrible. It was, yeah.
How is the disease so weird?
Some people, it's still around, but we know how to treat it. We know how to treat it, so it's not like before. But it was a very, very terrible disease, especially during Jesus' time. And so these were 10 guys that they were thrown out on the streets, okay? And that's why they heard about this Jesus who could heal people. And so when they saw him coming, they knew they had to stay away from Jesus, but at the same time, they wanted Jesus to help them. And so they said, Master, have pity on us, have mercy on us. And they wanted to be healed. And Jesus said, go show yourself to the priests. It's because in order for someone to claim that they've been healed from leprosy, they would have to be examined by the priest, because when you had leprosy, they were all Jews, so they didn't get to go to synagogue or temple. It's like me telling you, you have leprosy, so you cannot come to church. Do not come to church because you have the disease. Hey, Joe?
Did they give you anything like on the island, or just the island?
Say that again?
Did they like give me anything on the island? Like
On that island, they gave them basic necessities. They would drop off supplies, but there was nobody to keep the law. So guess what happened so Adrian was asking about when they used to take people to one of the islands of Hawaii. So things got really bad. People were selfish. They were, they didn't respect each other. And so when they dropped off supplies, some people stole it, hoarded it, and things like that. They didn't do much sharing. Okay, now back to the scripture. Jesus said, go and show yourself to the priests. So these 10 men says, okay, we'll do what he says. One of them, on the way to the priests, noticed that he was healed. Okay? Now, all 10 were healed, but only one of them noticed that he was healed. And so, because he noticed that he was healed, he went back to Jesus to thank God for what Jesus did. Okay? And notice what Jesus says. He says, hey, 10 were healed, weren't they? How come only one of you came back to give thanks? So one of the things I want to point out here is, what are some reasons why we don't give thanks? Well, first identify why in this story did only one person give thanks? Deacon?
Or like, because like the other people didn't want to admit he was right.
Wait, can you be louder?
Because the other 9 people didn't want to admit he was right.
Okay, because the other 9 didn't admit that he's right. Okay. What's another reason that maybe 9 did not give thanks, but 1 did, Adriel?
if they didn't know.
They didn't know, okay? They didn't recognize it. Maybe they didn't notice that they were healed. Okay? Alright? Now, so we see that one of the
The other
Casey?
one probably didn't go to the priest.
Okay, so you didn't think maybe they didn't even bother to go see the priest. Okay? Alright? So now I want you to think in general, What are some reasons why people don't give thanks? Say that. Because they're mean, they're selfish, they never share it, they're ungrateful. Any other reasons? Why do some people don't give thanks, Rosemary? Yeah, they thought maybe they deserved it, right? It's like, I don't need to give you thanks, but I deserved it. You know, I've been sick all this time. About time someone healed me, okay? So the attitude that I deserve it, I don't need to give thanks, okay? What are other reasons, in general, okay, that people don't give thanks? Have you ever done something or given something to somebody and they were not grateful?
Yep.
Yeah? Yes. Okay. What is maybe one of the first things that your parents might have taught you? Adrian, one of the first things they can teach you in terms of giving thanks.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you, right? And when do you say thank you?
People give you something.
When someone gives you something, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask you. Do y'all use those words, please and thank you?
Yes.
Every time that someone gives you something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Okay. Just think about it. Because sometimes, even in this class, I don't hear it. Okay? Like sometimes, when I give you something, I don't hear thank you.
You hear a big dog though.
Huh?
You hear a big dog though. Big dog.
What?
That's as good as a thank you.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
All right, disregard what he just said, okay? And so, we're supposed to, right? This is one of the first, I know that the way we're taught, we're like, that's being polite. Okay? You should do it, okay? But there's something bigger at stake here, okay? In church, at every Mass, there's always a couple of lines of a prayer that is said at every single Mass. And it was like this past weekend, I had to go preach. We had a community Thanksgiving service in Port O'Connor at the Baptist Church. So there's only 3 churches in Port O'Connor. It's the Catholic Church, us, it's the Baptist Church, and a church called the Fisherman's Chapel. And so every year, like 2 weeks before, a week or two before Thanksgiving, we get together and we have a prayer service. And so they asked me to preach. So this year, I decided to focus on this particular line that we hear at every single Mass. And it's right before we get into the Last Supper part, okay? Communion part, okay? And it says, the line says, the priest is the one who says it. So I'm the one who says it every time I celebrate them. It is truly right and just. It is truly right and just. Our duty and our salvation, always and everywhere to give you thanks. Okay? It is truly right and just, our duty and our salvation, always and everywhere to give you thanks, referring to God. So, what does it mean when we say something is right? It is right to give God thanks. Pastor, what does that mean? It is right.
It's good to?
It's good, very good. Okay? What is right is good. What is good is right. So when your parents first teach you to discern right from wrong, they're helping you discern good from evil. Okay? What is right is good. What is right is good. And so we're saying it is a good thing to give God thanks. Okay? How about just? It is right and just. The church says it is right and just. What does the word just mean?
Exact.
Just.
Correct.
Correct, okay? To say that something is just means to give something to someone that they deserve. That's what the word justice means. You know, we want justice, but you be careful, because justice, when it comes back around to you, it means to give you what you deserve, whether you deserve good or you deserve bad. That's why we say God is perfectly just. He will give us exactly what we deserve. At the end of life, if you deserve heaven, you get heaven. If you deserve hell, you get hell. Because God is perfectly just. He will give us what we deserve. And so what we're saying in that prayer is that it is a good thing to give God thanks, and it is just. Why is giving God thanks just? Why is giving God thanks just?
It's appreciative.
Say what?
It's appreciative.
No, what did I say? Justice means what? Kevin? Justice means giving someone what they
Deserve.
deserve. Good. And so when we say that it is just to give God thanks, what are we saying?
Correct. To give God what he deserves.
Correct. Yes. It is correct and good to give God what he deserves. And what does he deserve?
Our love.
Our thanks. Okay, good. It is our duty. What does the word duty mean?
Job.
Okay, broader than job. Gavin? No, duty. D-U-T-Y. Duty. If I say, Carly, what? Yes, responsibility. Exactly. It's your responsibility. A duty is something that you not only should do, but it's something you must do. You have to do. It's your duty. It is our duty to honor our parents. Okay? It's our responsibility to honor our parents. So we're saying it is truly just. It is truly right to give God thanks, and it is our duty. Okay? It's our responsibility to give God thanks. Okay? And then it says, it is our duty in our salvation. Have you ever thought about that? What is salvation? What is salvation? Oh, better than peace. What is salvation? What kind of life? Heaven, yes.
Eternal life.
Eternal life. That's salvation. I hope you know that, because that's what we're working for. That's what we're here. Okay? What does salvation have to do with giving God thanks? What does salvation have to do with giving God thanks? Because what it's implying is, if you don't give thanks to God,
Oh,
You don't get
you
heaven.
will not be going to heaven.
thank you for like all the stuff you do. and stuff.
Right? Okay, so
Like,
right, his forgiveness, the blessings he gives us.
great.
So what does that have to do with going to heaven? You see, what is the greatest gift that God offers to us that we don't deserve? Who said that? Heaven. Salvation. And you cannot have salvation apart from God. Okay? And if you don't recognize God, you don't recognize the gift of heaven. We're about to have Christmas in a few weeks. And there will be a lot of gift exchanging going on. Okay? Must you take and receive the gift?
No.
No. Some people take it and they exchange it, they return it. Okay? Most people I know, they don't refuse it straight up. But when you take it and you return it, you didn't really accept the gift. Okay? So a gift is always offered, it's freely offered to you. That's a gift. No strings attached, that's a gift. But you don't have to take it. And if you don't recognize the gift, there's no way of accepting the gift. And that's why it's our duty and our salvation to give God thanks. Because when you are thankful for something, you have to first recognize it. That's why only one of the leprous men came back to Jesus. Those other 9 didn't even recognize that they had received a gift. They didn't see it. And that's why I wanted to do that exercise with you today, making you list 25 things to be thankful for. Okay? So that you can recognize it. So next time that you complain about something, I want you to think about it. Think about the opposite of complaining, giving thanks. Okay? And that my challenge to you is that every night before you go to bed, that you are able to concretely give thanks to God for concrete things, concrete blessings that you've received in your life. I promise you, if you do that, you'll be a happier person. And then not only will you be a happier person yourself, you'll be a kinder and more generous person to other people. Because the problem with people who don't recognize the gift is that they become very bitter, dark people. Here at our church, we want to help people. We want to help people in a spiritual way, but we also try to help people in physical ways. Okay? So we have a special fund that we collect money for once a month. It's called the Jesu Caritas. Caritas means the charity. Jesu is Jesus, the charity of the love of Jesus. And so this fund is called the Love of Jesus. And so we try to help people who physically are in need of money to pay for rent or electricity, any of their utilities. Sometimes if they need medicine. Today a lady stopped by. She needed some medicine that she could not afford. Okay. This coming Thanksgiving, one of our parishioners, their family, they've been hosting an annual Thanksgiving lunch for anybody in the community. If you want to come, you can come. Just come through this door. They're going to serve you turkey plates. A lady called, and she says to my secretary, "Hey, are y'all still serving turkey on Thanksgiving Day?" And my secretary said, "Yes, ma'am, we are. Can you please put me down for 25 plates?" And my secretary says, "Can I ask how many people are in your family that you need 25 plates?" "No, it's just for me. I just need 25 plates because I can't cook and I need food to feed me for a few days." And my secretary said, "Well, I can't promise you 25 plates. Well, will you give me your name and phone number, and I will give it to the lady in charge, and she can call you." No. You give me the name of the lady that's in charge and her phone number, and I'll call her. And she says, "I know y'all do this, so don't tell me y'all can't do this." Now, does that sound like a lady who's grateful for gifts that are going to be given to her? No, not at all. She had that, Rosemary said that some people are not grateful because they have this attitude that they deserve it. And sometimes, I'm sad to say, that we have people with that attitude, Andrew,
There's a turkey free.
the turkey is free. It's to everybody. So I know, it really is. And it's not like, the reason why they do it, it's not like you're poor or anything. It's like turkeys are huge. And sometimes people live alone or their family's really small and they don't want to cook a giant turkey and have all this leftover. But here in America, it's traditional to eat turkey and dressing and sweet potato and green beans and all that stuff. It's very sentimental. And so they decided that it's open to everybody. So on Thanksgiving Day, Like, if your family is not eating turkey, but you really want some turkey, come here, beginning at 11 a.m., and they serve until they run out. And I tell you, I've helped them for the past few years, whenever I can, and we serve about 1,500 plus plates. They serve over 1,000 people that day, for free, you know? So like, if you're craving turkey on Thanksgiving and your family not having turkey, come here. Come to St. Jude and pick up a plate or two, you know, and it's only to go. We used to let people eat in here, but after COVID, we don't do that anymore. And so it's just to go, just take it to go. So, or if you know like neighbors, like if you have neighbors who, you know, maybe they don't have anything to eat, or maybe they're older people, or people who are sick, or people who can't cook, come here, pick up plates and take it to them. When you come that day, they're just gonna ask you how many plates do you need? How many plates do you need? You know, you just tell them, and they give it to you. As long as they have it, they'll just give it to you. Okay. So sometimes even when they don't say thank you, it's the way that they act that shows you whether they're grateful or not. And that's a lesson for all of us too. Because you just think about, I know, especially at your age, who might be maybe after God, the number one persons you should be grateful for? Parents. And I was your age, you know, I know myself that sometimes I wasn't grateful. You know, maybe your parents offer you this and you're like, I didn't want that. I wanted something else. You know? And that's not showing gratitude. That's not showing gratitude. Sometimes showing gratitude means helping out, you know? That your parents do a lot for you. And so one way of showing gratitude is by doing something for them. And so think about next time that instead of waiting for your parents to ask you to do something that you can see, you're like, that needs to be done. The trash needs to be taken down. The table needs to be cleared. The dishes need to be washed. My room needs to be cleaned. Whatever it is. Instead of waiting for your parents to ask you to do it, one of the best ways to say thank you to your parents without saying thank you is by just doing it. Just by doing it. Okay? So that's what I want you to think about today, is that today we're challenged by the gospel to be like that one leprous man who recognized that God did something for him. God healed him. And he went and he thanked God for it. Okay? And not to be like the other 9 who didn't see anything. They didn't recognize it. And therefore they became ungrateful. Okay? Okay, we're going to do one last activity.